Hello and welcome to this class on comparing quantities. So today we're going to go through what quantities are, and we are going to go through how we use them in rate. So what is a quantity? A quantity is an amount or number or measurement that answers the question how much or how many. So when we think about this, we think of how many apples are in a bag. So this is a bag over here of apples, and if we zoom in quite closely, we will see that this bag of apples is a 1.5 kilo bag of apples. So this is a quantity of apples. So when we're talking about comparing quantities, there are two different ways on how to do it. Today we will be discussing one of those ways, and that is rate. So what is rate? Rate is the relationship between two different units of measurement, such as kilometers and hours. So we describe this as one unit of measurement over another. So when you think about a car driving and you check the speedometer, your parent's speedometer, you will see that it says kilometers per hour. So if they're driving on a highway, you'll see them going 120 kilometers an hour. So it is the kilometers over the hour. We use the word per, for example, kilometers per hour, or using the symbol, the / also means the same thing. Both of it means that for each. So for each kilometer, there's a specific number of hours that it travels. So remember, we're talking about the relationship between two different quantities or two different units of measurement. Okay, so our first example, the cost of apples are 25 Rand per kilo. How much will a 3-kilogram bag of apples cost? So what we need to remember is that there is a relationship between the cost of apples and the mass of the apples. So we've got kilograms for each rand. So for every 1 kilogram, I have to pay 25 Rand. And we've now increased the kilograms to 3, which means that we need to increase the other quantity as well by 3. The answer to this one is 25 Rand multiplied by 3, because we are increasing the kilograms by 3, which will give me 75 Rand for the 3 kilo bag of apples. So the next example is a motorcycle is traveling at 120 kilometers an hour. How long will it take for them to travel 600 kilometers? So again, we need to remember that there is a relationship between the two quantities, and the quantities are the distance that the motorbike is traveling and the time it will take to get there. So kilometers for each kilogram, that is the relationship. So I have 120 kilometers for each hour, and I have 600 kilometers, but I don't know how many hours. So the one quantity has increased, and to find the other quantity, we need to find how much it has increased by. So for this one, we'd have to divide the two distances. So 600 kilometers divided by 120 kilometers gives us 5 hours. So we know that this quantity has increased, but we don't know how much. So we have to cross multiply here. So we don't know the hours. So 120 kilometers times 1. Okay. So for this one, 600 divided by 120 will give us 5 hours. So we're going to go through a few questions. Please feel free to pause the video while you're going through these. So a car travels at 60 kilometers an hour. How far will the car travel in A, 2 hours, B, 5 hours, C, half an hour, and D, quarter of an hour? Pause the video and come back, and then we will go through the answers. Okay, so coming back to it, these are our answers. So at A, 2 hours, it increases, the 60 kilometers increases by 2, which will give me 120 kilometers. C, B asks me 5 hours, my 60 kilometers has increased by 5, which means that the car has traveled for 300 kilometers. At C, half an hour, my speed has increased by a half. My time has increased by a half, which means it's 60 times a half, which gives me 30 kilometers. And D, 60 times a quarter, because it's a quarter of an hour, will give me 15 kilometers. Number 2. The bananas cost 5 Rand 34 cents per kilogram. So what is the cost of 2 kilograms, 10 kilograms, half a kilogram, and 21 kilograms of bananas? Come back and then we'll go through the questions together. Welcome back. Here are the answers. For 2 kilograms, the price has increased doubling, so we had to times that answer by 2, giving us 10 Rand 68 cents for the 2 kilograms. Over here, it's increased by 10 kilograms, so our answer will be 53 cents. C is half a kilogram, so we need to multiply it by a half, and then we get 2 Rand 67 cents. As if it's increased by 21 kilograms, the price will then go up to 112 Rand and 16 cents. Thank you for joining this class. We hope that you have a better understanding on quantities and the relationship between two quantities, which is rate.